Welcome back. So, what's the life of a Formula One driver really like? Well, we are about to find out. From a man who's at the top of his game, Lewis Hamilton won his second World Championship last year, and now the British driver's on track to win his third after taking out the Australian Grand Prix last weekend.
I found my treasure in you.
He's the two-time Formula One world champion. Lewis Hamilton was just 6 years old when his dad bought him a remote control car. And by the age of 8, he was steering go-karts.
Another great win for determined Lewis Hamilton.
I'm enemies with everybody on the track, but out in the pits, I'm their friends.
Lewis clearly showed talent from the start, winning his first British karting championship at age 10.
Into the braking area now, and back to the lead goes Lewis Hamilton.
But the big leagues were always on his mind.
My kart feels really powerful when I'm in it, but imagine being in the Formula One car. Must be very powerful, that.
Making his Formula One debut in 2007. Lewis became the then youngest ever Formula One world champ just a year later.
The fulfilment of a destiny and of a family.
Claiming his second F1 World Championship last year, he's now on track to claim his third world title after winning the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne on the weekend.
From pole position all the way, a 1-2 for Mercedes.
Lewis Hamilton joins us live at the desk. Well done, mate. Congratulations on the win last weekend and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That was great. I never get to see those things.
I know. When was the last time? I was watching you, watching the monitor of little Lewis and all those interviews.
I know, that
and
was
stuff.
embarrassing.
When was the last time you saw that?
You know what? I never get to see those things. I never even watch the races. So I do all these races and I never even watch them over and again. So it's great to sometimes see it, you know, especially relive the moments with my dad and that, you know. We've been racing 22 years. So.
Special times.
How do you feel when you see that?
Extremely proud, especially when I see the moment with me and my dad. You know, because we came from nothing, we didn't have any money. And my dad had 4 jobs at one stage just to keep me racing in those go-karts, as you see there. So, and you know, we were the only like family on the scene at every race, actually. So, you know, it's quite new for us.
You must be so incredibly proud of yourself, let alone how your family must feel about you. And another great win on the weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mercedes is just dominating, which has caused some controversy.
It has, but I mean, it's been amazing. You know, I made the step a couple of years ago to Mercedes, and it was really in the hope to want to build with a new team. And you know, they weren't having a lot of success before, but it came so much sooner than I expected, and we won last year, and we won the last race. So, I mean, but of course, people are always unhappy when they're not winning. It's interesting to see some of the comments, but, you know.
Is that what's behind Red Bull's, you know, talk about that they may well pull out of Formula One?
I think it's very, very interesting to hear that. When I read it, they dominated for 4 years, big time. They've not had a good couple of years. I didn't do so bad last year, but you know, you've seen a real big improvement from Ferrari. They've actually overtaken Red Bull, and Williams have made a really big step. And I think you're gonna have to watch them really closely this year. You know, there's a lot of potential, particularly in the rules, for them to make big steps and close the gap. So we still have a fight on our hands.
Do you think that they would be saying the same thing if they were winning? They say they would be, you know, because they're talking about the technical issues, that it's too complicated in Formula One.
It's not for us, so you got to hire some better people, I guess. You know, ultimately it's a test and a challenge of evolution, of innovation, and we've hired great people and we've done a great job, and we weren't complaining when they were doing it. So,
is it sour grapes, do you think?
I'm not going to get into political side of things. I just drive. I'm really, as I said, I'm really grateful for what Mercedes have done as a team. You know, there's over 1,000 people on our team. We've done an amazing job. You know, and the car's fantastic. Best car I've ever driven. So happy with it, and I want to really grab the opportunity with both hands and do the best job I can.
What would happen to F1 if Red Bull were to pull out? How much would that damage the sport, do you think?
Well, I mean, just look at the last Grand Prix. We only had 11 cars finish the race, but that's normal not normal, but it can be expected in the first start of the season, where cars haven't had a lot of time to practice and iron out all the creases. So it will improve through the year. But we want more teams, not less teams. So
There were some claims that the weekend race was boring because Mercedes was dominating. Don't suppose it was boring from where you were sitting?
Definitely wasn't for me. You know, and we had such a great crowd in Melbourne, as we do every year. So, I mean, I don't know. Of course, the sound's different nowadays. The races have been great. We've had great races, and we have some that perhaps aren't as exciting. But again, I don't watch, so I can't comment on them.
Is that
for
why
me,
you don't
in my
watch
seat, it was so exciting. You know, I had the guy 2 seconds behind me, and I was able to obviously keep him behind, but it was so much fun from my seat. But it's a lot different to those watching.
What goes through your head when you're in there that you know there's only a 2-second difference? What goes through your mind?
Well, you just obviously don't want to let him by.
Yeah.
No mistakes. And so not really much, you just solid focus. There was a moment that I'd slipped, I thought about anything else. And so, and you got so much stuff going on in the car, you know, all these different switches, all these movements and adjustments per lap, strategy, tires, fuel usage, all those kind of things. So all the practice and hard work that we've done in the pre-season testing and also last year really prepared us for it.
Champ, you said in the little grab as a 10-year-old, you know, out on the track they're the enemy, but in the pits they're my friends. Do you still feel that same way about your competitors now as a 30-year-old?
I think as a kid, I think it's very similar, very much the same. We're fierce competitors now. I wouldn't say necessarily that we're friends off the track. You know, but of course we talk, but I can count my friends on one hand. Probably doesn't even take one hand for it. You know, there's only a few people that I've known for my whole life that are my good friends.
Is it a lonely life on the road?
It can be. We're traveling quite a lot of the time. You know, for example, this period of time we were away like 5-6 weeks. But you know, I've got my trainer that's training with me all the time. Family pops out and travels with us. You know, my mum came to Australia last year. Friends come out. My brother comes out sometimes. So. You know.
And two of your best friends, I'd imagine, your two dogs, your two little British bulldogs.
Yeah, they travel all the European races. They travel with me.
There they are.
Roscoe and Coco.
Do you miss them?
I do.
Do they ever go in the car with you? I mean, I don't mean just your standard, you know, but the fast Formula One car.
No, there's no space for him.
Not on your lap or anything?
I did put Roscoe in the car one time and took a picture with him, but no, but they're the greatest dogs. I actually just got a picture of Coco where she is right now. She's out at some party. She's got a party hat on.
Oh, very nice.
She likes the party.
On a yacht somewhere.
You have fulfilled the dream of so many little kids that say, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a racing car driver. And you've done it. I mean, you're pinching yourself?
I have to every day, really, because it has been a long time. But, you know, I've really discovered and really realised over the last few years that it's really, whilst I get to do what I love doing, it's really a platform to inspire young kids. I've got people, families, parents coming up to me nowadays saying, and from all kind of lots of minorities, they're from all kinds of walks of life, and now trying to get into the sport and do things. So I think I'm very proud as a family what we've been able to achieve, kind of broken the mold, knocked down the wall. A little bit like, you know, what the Williams sisters did, Tiger and everyone, so I feel proud to be a part of that.
And how grateful are you for the opportunities that you've been given? You mentioned your dad worked 4 jobs to allow you to be able to do this. I mean, that's such sacrifice.
A huge sacrifice, absolutely, and there's not a moment that goes by that I'm not grateful for that, you know. And so when I work, now I've got this opportunity, I don't take it for granted. I push, I work so hard to maximize it, you know, because we went through so many ups and downs. There was never really any doubtful moments for us. We always believed we could do it. But of course there were moments where they were tough. It wasn't easy all the way.
Driving the car is one thing, but needing to deal with the politics is another, as we're seeing right now. How do you handle the politics and people saying, oh, the race was boring and it's not fair and so on? How do you deal with that?
I don't. I get on with my driving. It's not really for me to... I can't change what's going on or people's opinions about it. I drive to entertain. I hope that I entertain enough. But naturally, as a racer, and I watch Formula One, I want to see all cars racing together and more cars, and whether it be more pit stops and all those things. But ultimately, it's a much higher power that's controlling those things, and it is what it is. So I do the best I can with it.
How do you stay so level? You seem very, very humble, very calm, very. Like, for somebody who's at the top of their field, why are you not more arrogant?
It's such, that's the kind of, and it's such a racy field too.
That's very kind of you to say. Oh, I think it's just, again, you know, I'm racing against people who have generally come from very wealthy backgrounds. You know, we didn't. We really, you know, I grew up in a one-bedroom apartment with my family. My dad was putting up for sale signs just to be able to pay for tyres, for fuel. So I'm very lucky. I've still got.
Do your roots stay with you then?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm very, very close to my family, and nothing's really changed. When I get away from the track, it's back to the normal kind of stuff, you know. But I'm just very fortunate, you know, and what kids would want to do that. One, you get to race great cars, but there's all these great things you get to experience along the way, which are amazing. But ultimately, it doesn't change who you are.
Speaking of things away from the track, mate, you've got a little bit of time off before the whole tour heads off to Malaysia. Yeah. What do you like to do in your downtime? I hear you're into music.
I am. I've always been into music. I played guitar when I was 13. And generally, I spent a little bit of time just kind of. I like
serenading your dogs.
Not really. She hates the guitar, so as soon as I pick it up and strum it, she starts barking like crazy.
What do you like to listen to?
I listen to quite a lot of stuff actually, but favorite. I grew up on reggae, and because my family from the Spice Islands in Grenada, and I love Miguel. I really like. I love even Katy Perry stuff. I like all kind of genres, but hip hop and R&B are kind of my favourites.
Yeah. Any chance of you releasing something yourself?
I don't plan to. It is really a hobby at the moment. It's something I like to do. Rather than be out partying or doing something crazy, I like to just be chilled. I like the creative side of things. I like meeting new people and working with new people and trying to extract the best from them and vice versa.
So no join our Daily Edition band.
Well, he's on his own duet with Coco.
Oh, right.
It was wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much, Lewis, for coming in. And best of luck with your upcoming tours throughout Asia and then Dubai.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.